Teachers are reflective practitioners, and I talked a little bit about the reflective part of research and writing. You recycle your knowledge to make improvements. And finally, teachers are role models, and a researcher is a role model. Your actions and the process and the activities that you do as a researcher say more than your actual words. So I think of this in terms, for example, of citing sources. If you're careful and meticulous about that aspect, it shows that you yourself are careful and meticulous. And so your work as a researcher is a model that illustrates a little bit about what kind of a person you are.
The quality of your process as well as the quality of your product.
That's right. That's right. And so the actions that you undertake speak louder than your ability to say, I was objective, or I was fair, or I was...
we can see your objectivity through the meticulousness, as you say, of your research methods.
That's exactly right. So all of these things, I think, especially for teachers, people who have had experience as teachers or who have developed skills in our program as teachers, those are many of the same skills that they already have when they come to do their research projects. I think the same is probably true in business, but I haven't had the leisure to reflect on that as much.
Well, let me ask you a question related to some of the things I do online. You've mentioned the importance of research as practitioners, not just as students, but in later life as practitioners. And part of the research process is determining the quality of the sources, whether you use a primary source, secondary source, and so forth. One of the things that people use for research now, of course, is the internet and the vast body of information available online. We also have the tendency of some students to use such sources as Wikipedia, which is based on the old wisdom of crowds theory. I would hesitate myself to use that as primary research, but is there a place for the casual internet, the wisdom of crowd places on the internet?
Yes. I'm glad you asked that, and it's a question that comes up with just about every student that I work with in research. The internet really has the whole gamut. It has things that are the most up-to-date scholarly research, and it has fraudulent information, and everything in between.
Exactly.
And part of the skills that students develop throughout a master's program in all the different kinds of research activities that are spread throughout the program enable students to look at different areas of the internet and print materials, and to compare and contrast and to learn some cues or clues to help them determine how valid something is. One of the things, of course, is the availability of references. Is the work cited, and are the citations valid citations? So being able to follow that trail, so to speak, is a excellent skill that students can use throughout their lives in evaluating material that they receive on the internet. I'm glad you mentioned Wikipedia. I tell my students that a wiki is not a very good resource because it can be edited by anybody. It's part of the new generation of internet that enables interaction and participation, like you say, the wisdom of crowds. But the value of Wikipedia is that it has resources. And so for every entry, well, I guess I shouldn't say every entry, but for the entries that I've seen, at the end of every entry there's a list of resources, and many of them have active links that you can find the resource right on the internet. But even if it doesn't have a live link, if you can find the publication that the author referred to.
Right.
And sometimes because you have this ability for participants from different disciplines to contribute to the information on a wiki, you can get, in a way, a broader or more differentiated kind of information on a Wikipedia than you might get even in a Encyclopedia Britannica, for example. Right. So those are some of the advantages, even though citing the wiki itself is not necessarily a good thing. Using it as a pathway to other resources is excellent.
I find research to be enjoyable in the aspect that it is sort of a treasure hunt, and finding these links that other people have done. I might not find that through a search through Academic ASAP, but might find them by visiting the wiki.
That's right. That's right. And yes, the internet is sort of like a detective show. There are a lot of red herrings. You follow the clues and it leads you down a dead end. But eventually, if you are persistent enough and, do your Eames and Gorin routine, you'll eventually find the guilty party, so to speak, or the answer or the issue that you're looking for.
Right. Dr. Tyler, thank you very much.
Thank you, John.